But first tonight, the big story that's coming in from the national capital. A new government has finally taken shape in Delhi 10 days after the elections. Let's take a look first at the fast-moving developments today. The Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and 6 cabinet ministers, including Pravesh Verma, who defeated Arvind Kejriwal, and Maninder Singh Sirsa, took oath at the iconic Ram Leela Maidan. The ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah as well. A mega show of strength also at the Delhi government swearing-in ceremony. Top NDA leaders like Andhra Pradesh's Chandrababu Naidu, Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan, and several BJP Chief Ministers were also on stage during the oath-taking ceremony. Right after the oath ceremony, Rekha Sharma hit the ground running, took charge as Chief Minister. She has vowed to give rupees 2,500 to poor women of Delhi from March 8 as per the manifesto. The Rekha Sharma cabinet later performed Yamuna Aarti at Vasudev Ghat in Delhi. They asserted that cleaning Yamuna River is the top priority of the BJP government in Delhi. After seeking the blessings of Ma Yamuna, Chief Minister also chaired her first cabinet meeting. Earlier, she had promised to expose alleged corruption under AAP tenure and asserted that CAG reports would be tabled in the first session of the Delhi Assembly. Meanwhile, we are getting a look at the new cabinet of the Delhi Chief Minister. Rekha Gupta, Chief Minister, will also handle finance, planning, general women and child development, services, revenue, land and building, vigilance, and any other department not allocated to other ministers. So she gets all the big portfolios. Pravesh Singh Verma gets PWD, water and legislative affairs. Water, a key ministry now in Delhi. Kapil Mishra, contentious figure, gets law and justice, labour, employment, art and culture, language, tourism. Ashish Sood gets home, power, urban development, education, higher education, training and technical education. Maninder Singh Sirsa gets food and supplies, forest and environment industries. Ravinder Singh gets social welfare, SC and ST welfare and cooperative. So the new ministry is in shape, and Shreya Chatterjee now joins me. Shreya, the government seemingly wants to send out a message they mean business. It was interesting they did the Yamuna Aarti also. Yamuna pollution was one of the issues during the elections. But what's the sense you're getting from this government that's been chosen? Is Rekha Gupta simply the face of the government, or is she really the woman in charge? Will she be someone as a first-time MLA who will be looking over her shoulders? What's the sense you're picking up?
We'll have to give it at least some days to give a sense of the understanding, because clearly whether it's just posturing of sending out a woman chief minister, because for all this while, despite being power in multiple states, BJP did not have a woman chief minister in the helm. So clearly whether or not that's just a messaging, it will be in some days, we'll realize. But as of now, as I talk, Rekha Gupta along with her cabinet ministers have arrived for the cabinet briefing, and she will be in short time say what was decided in the first cabinet meeting. The expectations are on the lines of the rolling out of Ayushman Bharat as well as a 2,500 rupees for women. So in a short while, I mean, barely a minute or two, we will get to know from them what was the decision taken in the first cabinet meeting. Okay, we'll wait to see what decisions are taken. But joining me now is someone who knows a thing or two about this government. Harish Khurana is one of the newly elected MLAs, Secretary Delhi BJP. Remember, he's the son of Madanlal Khurana, who was the first Chief Minister of Delhi way back in 1993. Good to have you, Harish, on the show. You're smiling at the moment. Give us a sense. What is the top priority, according to you, of this government? Because we've been hearing different reports, some saying this government will go after Arvind Kejriwal, will continue to sort of put out CAG reports alleging corruption. Others are saying, no, we will do Yamuna pollution. What is the main issue that your government is going to tackle on priority?
Thank you, Rajiv ji, for having me on the show. And today is a historic day when second time BJP Chief Minister of Women is taking oath, and our agenda is absolutely that we'll have an agenda of Vikas, agenda of development, and whatever the promises we have made, whatever the guarantees Modi ji has given to the public of Delhi, it will be fulfilled as revertum, as it is.
No, so you're saying, for example, the guarantee for women to get rupees 2,500 by the 8th of March, International Women's Day, it is going to cost you 11,000 crores according to some estimates. You're going ahead with it?
We are going ahead with it, and not even this. First, I think another 15-20 minutes you'll get to know what all decision has been made by the cabinet. But what I believe, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, which has not been implemented in Delhi, it will be implemented soon. And I think in next few minutes you'll get to know about the Ayushman Bharat, and then we have an agenda of like cleaning of Yamuna, which has already been started right now. It's been done. People like us, MLA like us, many of the MLAs have started their work on the ground of cleaning of sewage, desilting. We already started that. And the sewage big trunk or sewage trunks tender will be floated soon. And I think before this rainy season, the problem of this drainage will be get it sorted out for sure. And all the ministers and the chief minister will do a development work from today only.
You're saying you're hitting the ground running from today. There are AAP leaders who are saying that the BJP is going to benefit now from an LG who's on the same side as them. They claim that Mr. Kejriwal wanted to bring many of the development projects that you now speak about, whether Yamuna, cleaning up the Yamuna, whether sewage cleanage, and they insist that the LG was a roadblock. Are you now confident that that phase is over? Now you all will work in perfect synchronization.
I think the only problem with Arvind Kejriwal was this, कि ना खाता ना वही, जो Kejriwal कहे वही सही. We should understand that we should run according to what the constitution says. And you are covering Delhi since ages right now. We have seen Madan Lal Khurana ji, Sahib Singh Verma ji and Sushma ji in the era when they were the chief minister and having a central government in the center. We were having no problem at that time also. Shiraj ji was 15 years chief minister, but 6 years there the government of BJP was there in the center. So this kind of clashes was not been there. We understand that there might be problems with some issues, but that doesn't mean you always blame a left-hand government of letting not to work. The thing is, the intention of Arvind Kejriwal government was not to work. Primarily, they were only allocating either Haryana, they were allocating central government, they were allocating some other ones.
It's interesting you're saying that. Even you just now said Ayushman Bharat to be implemented. The Chief Minister's first major decision announced Ayushman Bharat Yojana to be implemented in the national capital. So you're spot on, Harish. You knew exactly what was the announcement to be made. But it comes to the question, Harish Khurana, is Rekha Gupta really the woman in charge? Or is she, as the opposition alleges, simply a first-time MLA who will do whatever she is told by the centre? Is this a strong chief minister? Or is this a chief minister who's simply there to do Delhi High Command, the BJP High Command's bidding?
Rajdeep, I know Rekha Gupta since I was in college. I was his 1 year senior to her. And I have seen her struggle during campus days. She was being secretary first during Alka Lama when she was president, and later on she became a president for DUSU that time. I know her since then. She has struggled. She knows what the ground of Delhiite wants. She knows what the pulse of Delhi wants. So I think she knows what she wants to do it. And double engine government, like central government we have Narendra Modi ji, and Delhi we have a Rekha Gupta ji's government. Will do a perfectly a double.
Will this double engine, for example, be able to do anything about air pollution or indeed water pollution? Will you be able to work? These are images of the Yamuna Aarti going on. Will you actually be able to clean up the Yamuna? Arvind Kejriwal had promised to do it, didn't do it. Are you willing to commit yourself that within the next 2 years Yamuna will be clean?
We have already promises made to the people of Delhi, like for cleaning of Yamuna in 2.5 years, you'll have a very good riverfront on that. Just like what we have in Gujarat, you're going to see that kind of same Yamuna over here, only that is for sure. Not even us. Prime Minister has given a promise. I mean, Prime Minister's guarantees, we know all that. Whatever the guarantee he makes it.
So you're giving us a guarantee. You're saying it's a Modi ki guarantee, the cleaning up of the Yamuna.
Yes.
There is also the question, Harish, which is more contentious. A lot of BJP leaders today were asked that about what will you do on the CAG reports on the previous government. They're saying we will table them and we will prosecute Arvind Kejriwal. Is that also part of the agenda to take on Arvind Kejriwal?
We will not do any vendetta politics. Whatever the constitution will say, we'll do it. And I mean, as we all know, CAG reports has to be tabled on the floor of the House in the Vidhan Sabha. Unfortunately, Arvind Kejriwal didn't do it because of the intention of whatever intention he has. He might be known much better. But as far as BJP is concerned, BJP will do all the work which is constitutionally allowed. And I think tabling of CAG report in the first session only will be done.
Okay. Let's leave it there. Harish Khurana, I wish you well in your new post. Every time I see you, I'm reminded of your late father, Madan Lal Khurana. I knew him well. Ever smiling Madan Lal Khurana, ever smiling Harish Khurana. Thank you very much, Harish Khurana, newly elected MLA, for joining us. Team Rekha Gupta, we are saying, it's being suggested, is in action. But let's now look at the wider picture. And the wider picture simply is that as a result of what has happened in Delhi, the map of the country in the last 9 months is slowly but surely changing, the BJP becoming more and more dominant. India's power map, ever since Narendra Modi came to power, take a look at how the power map is changing. If you see in 2014, the BJP was largely confined to the north and the west of the country. There were large parts of the country, including the populous state of Uttar Pradesh, which was not controlled by the BJP at the time. How has that changed? Come to 2016, you can see the BJP by 2017 really slowly expanding. And now as much as 79% of the land mass of the country is saffron by 2017. That big victory in Uttar Pradesh making a major dent, but also in the northeast, the BJP striking in Assam and parts of the northeast. Now take a look at as we move towards the last few years. How is this power map changing? From 2017, let's turn to the latest numbers. After the elections, how the map keeps changing. The BJP, remember, returns in 2019 to power at the center, but it slowly starts losing out in certain other parts of the state. In Maharashtra, for example, the Shiv Sena, NCP, Congress form a government. Karnataka is switching to the BJP, so the BJP now has a base in the south. And slowly but surely, the BJP appears to be growing. But in December 2020, the BJP finds itself suddenly on the back foot. 2018 actually finds itself on the back foot because the Congress did well in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. By 2020, the BJP is back in control. It topples Kamal Nath and takes over Madhya Pradesh, then takes back Maharashtra crucially by splitting the Shiv Sena. Therefore, now you suddenly have both the opposition and the BJP by 2022 occupying equal landmass. By 2023, the BJP is back in the entire North India, barring Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. Now in 2024, the BJP is fully dominant once again after a minor setback, some would say, in Lok Sabha. Retains Haryana, retains Maharashtra, and it appears by February of 2025, as we stand today, the BJP is in power in 16 states on its own, 5 with its allies, and clearly 70% of the land area and 69% of the country's population is now under NDA rule. That's how India's power map has changed. Let me leave you the big questions, therefore. Can we now safely say that the BJP is India's dominant party number one again? Was the 2024 Lok Sabha simply an aberration? Or does the opposition have a part to recovery? Joining me now, Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, NITE Education Trust and political scientist. Praveen Chakravarti is Chairman, All India Professional Congress and Data Analytics Department, and Rajat Sethi is political commentator. To each of you, I want a short, crisp answer to my question. Can we now safely say that 2024 Sandeep Shastri was an aberration and the BJP is India's party number one by some distance?
Good evening, Rajdeep. I think broadly I would agree with what you said, but I would prefer to not to use the word aberration. 2024 Lok Sabha was a setback for the BJP, but the BJP's went to the drawing board, redefined its strategy when it came to the state assembly elections and has bounced back. The 2024 elections provided a diversity dividend to political parties. And as somebody who is a fiscal expert, you would know a dividend needs to be encashed. And what the BJP has done is it has encashed that dividend in Haryana, in Maharashtra, and now in Delhi. The capacity to be able to bounce back has strongly been there. Whereas the India Alliance in general and the Congress in particular has not really taken the learnings of 2024 forward.
Right.
There has been an element of complacency in them, and that produces the type of results we have had after the Lok Sabha election.
You know, Praveen Chakravarti, when I showed that power map, BJP now controls nearly 80% of the land area, 70% of the population is under NDA rule, BJP and its allies. 16 states are now BJP controlled, 5 by its allies. That's 21 out of 28. Has the opposition clearly now found itself on the back foot after Lok Sabha 2024 and is now struggling in a way even to occupy the space that one thought it would get?
First thing, I think the first thing that would strike anybody when they look at that visual that you showed of India's map from 2014 onwards is how dynamic it is. So for all the punditry that we do in television studios and by academic political scientists, if there is one lesson that visual shows is it's extremely dynamic. 2019 December, it was suddenly all blue. 2024, it's suddenly all orange. So I think we have to be humble. We have to first acknowledge that this can change at any given point in time. And so that's the biggest lesson. So there's nothing that is cast in stone. And, as you yourself said, just 2024, May, there was a different narrative, and now there's a different narrative. Having said that, what I do want to point out is, and I say this with full responsibility as a member, an office bearer of India's oldest and principal opposition party. The Haryana and the Maharashtra election outcomes are not accepted by us. We have serious doubts about those two states. And so, then if you add Jharkhand, which actually went to us, the map can be very, very, very different. And I'm saying this.
No, you're claiming that the Congress party principal opposition is not accepting the Haryana Maharashtra results. Now that of course has its own connotations, but I want to focus at the moment on the numbers as they stand. Rajat Sethi, you heard what Praveen Chakravarti says. He says this is a dynamic situation. Look at how the map of India has changed over the last 10 years. There was a brief period where the opposition was making a comeback in 2018-19. Again, there seemed to be a period in 2022 they were making a comeback. Nothing is cut in stone. How do you respond to that? Is it dynamic, or do you believe the BJP is firmly established as dominant party number one?
Well, Rajdeep ji, what we just heard was an absolute desperate attempt to paint something silver and call it a silver lining. Nothing more than that. While your graphics were showing some sway of blue and saffron here and there, but you missed one important point, that throughout these 10 years, the central government has been of Prime Minister Modi. So there is one layer of saffron, which is pan-India, all through these 10 years. While there can be a few states changing hands between one party or the other, I don't see any silver lining of the Congress party anywhere. And one of the biggest symptomatic aspects of why I don't see silver lining is post-June 2024. There were very important elections that the Congress party, from the narrative that they were trying to peddle, had a definitive edge. And what happened with that edge? Look at how they squandered the opportunity. I'm not even getting into the infighting that goes on as a stark feature of the principal opposition party. And you saw that the entire circus that was playing out in Haryana state. 3 leaders talking in 3 different directions, state in charge saying the other leader doesn't talk to me. I mean, why is even that spilling out? You don't have a mechanism to enforce discipline in the organization. That is principally because your core leader, the center of gravity of your party, is so wobbly.
Okay.
That is the real reason. And then look at Maharashtra, Rajdeep ji. What happened in Maharashtra? Maharashtra is a even more starker example. Primarily because Congress party was not even seen there in the state of Maharashtra at all. They were missing from the campaign season because they felt that it is their God-ordained right that they have won Lok Sabha in the state of Maharashtra. They can carry on with it and they will naturally win people's sentiment.
Praveen?
What BJP does is it lives by the day. It changes unlike any big organization. It has that agility to change its strategy on a daily basis. Something that all parties lack at a level where it has become a corrosion of these parties.
You want to respond again, Praveen, to what you just heard from Rajat. What he seems to be suggesting is that while there is a fluidity in the map of states over the last 10 years, the BJP has shown resilience at the center and also the ability to win seemingly unwinnable states where there is some element of anti-incumbency. Haryana is a good example of that more recently, and also the ability to fight and capture states that they've lost in the past, Delhi being the latest example. Therefore, the BJP has become a machine that is willing to course correct, while the Congress carries on in its merry old way, complacent, and dare one say, according to its critics, moth-eaten.
First, I think it's a fact that nobody can dispute, which is that the BJP is in power at the center for the last 10 years and now into the 11th year running. And I accept that and I acknowledge that. That's a fact. I think where I kind of differ is all this punditry about, how reasons for what led to the victory and what led to the laws and all these post-electoral analysis and all that. It's honestly quite nonsensical. It's the same party, it's the same leadership, it's the same organization that actually did reasonably well in the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, so, and fine, whatever happened in the subsequent state elections, like I said, we can have differing views on it. So I think we have to be a little careful about, making all these grand proclamations about organizing. I acknowledge that perhaps the BJP is a little bit more nimble, a little bit more
a little bit more or pretty much so. I mean, let's be honest now. Little bit more, or it is much more agile, much more nimble, much more willing to course correct, and that's what we've seen happen in the last 9 months post 2024.
Yeah. So they are. Like I said, I have no hesitation in admitting that they are more nimble and could we do with a little bit more, speed at which we change and we reform as a Congress party? Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to deny that at all. Mm-hmm. But I think all I'm saying is, come on, let us have some humility before we start making these grand proclamations about leader and organization and infighting and this and that. It's all easy for someone outside to sit and say all this. It's the same. It's exactly the same party in the organization that did well 6 months ago. So I think, yes, should we change and change fast and change rapidly, change radically? Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be the first to admit that.
Okay, that's a candid admission. But Sandeep Shastri, was 2024 therefore, as some are calling it, an aberration? Is that a fair way to look at it? Or Indian elections are dynamic. We should treat every election distinct to the other. Yes, the BJP did well in Delhi, and many will say it was not a level playing field in Delhi. And that argument is being made in other states as well. How do you see it?
Rajdeep, as Praveenji said in his opening comments, politics and elections are dynamic in nature. And accepting that argument he makes, I think that dynamism of politics as reflected in voter choices is seen in 2024 Lok Sabha and elections after that. And I repeat the point I made, Rajdeep. Mm-hmm. The setbacks of 2024, both for the ruling and the opposition, the ruling party has been able to go back to the drawing board and bring corrections. You saw that in their campaign style. You saw that in the localized nature of their campaign. You saw that in the backseat that the central leadership took, at least in the way it was portrayed in Haryana and Maharashtra, may not be in Delhi. But then on the other hand, you do not see the same level of intensity of change in the opposition. You see that coming up. Yes, the dynamism that Praveen spoke about becomes a reality. And finally, Rajdeep, you are somebody who is adept at sports. Do you really have a level playing field anywhere? Is any playing field level?
No, you
All
would think
of us
that
have to play the game of
mature
politics here.
democracies
Keeping in
do
mind
push a level.
the
No,
differences
let's
that
be
we
honest.
are aware
Mature
of
democracies do push a level playing field.
level.
We cannot say that, the United States Republicans and Democrats, for example, seem to have broadly a level playing field. Rajat, that's a contentious viewpoint, level playing field. But when I look at that India's power map, the one area where the BJP perhaps hasn't grown is South India, except for Andhra Pradesh, where it's in partnership with the TDP. Is that the next big, now having won Delhi and defeated AAP that had previously defeated the BJP twice, is conquering the South in your view, and possibly Bengal next year, the next big challenge?
Well, I think BJP and the BJP leadership don't see it as, one chapter after the other chapter of a book. There are parallel exercises that are happening with or without an election.
It's not a Ashwamedh Yagna going from one state to the other.
No, there are separate Ashwamedh in every single state. They are running around. The problem is that, we pick signals when the election comes. We tend to drop that signal even if it is coming in absence of an active election in that state. So, is there no churning within, say, the state of Rajasthan? Certainly is. They are constantly evaluating if the leadership is doing good or not and collecting feedback, and the party leadership is pretty adept at incorporating those feedbacks and ensuring that the leadership of that state is made aware of it. And that goes on and on. It's the same story in Telangana. Now, Telangana, they have removed BRS as the principal opposition party. Now, BJP is eyeing at the anti-incumbency, which is very fast developing against the Congress party over there.
Is the aim total domination? Is the aim of all of this total domination?
Nobody crafts a sentence like that in politics, Rajdeepji. You are aware of it. You've covered politics for so many years. Nobody looks at, okay, I'm going to dominate. It is about how do you want to perpetuate a message that you stand for, certain values that you stand for, which are in sharp contrast with your opposition. What BJP, which remains a very, very grounded party around certain set of ideals, you may like it or dislike it. That's a separate matter. But it is a machine whose singular aim is that we need to go after those set of ideas and go around the country to spread it as much as we can. Dominance or not dominance is just a byproduct which we analysts tend to use. We say that this is a Modi consensus era. There is no doubt about it. There is no silver lining for opposition. Opposition leaders, their personality have been cut to size fairly. There have been leaders here and there who still are matching up, but not to the gigantic machine and the edifice that the BJP is bringing to the table.
Final word from you, Praveen Chakravarti. As I see these visuals that are playing again and again, all these chief ministers lined up, Mr. Modi there is this larger-than-life figure. Rajat Sethi says this is the age of the Modi consensus. Are we in the same period as Indira Gandhi was in the 1970s? This towering figure, there is Indira only, now there is Modi only. Are we entering that phase? Is the opposition conscious of that? According to Rajat, there is no silver lining for the opposition.
No, let me just give you facts and data and statistics. Since we're talking about 2024 Lok Sabha election and elections subsequent to that. In the states that went to polls after 2024 Lok Sabha, I looked at the numbers. There are about, in these states, the Congress party got about 2 crore people to vote for them in the Lok Sabha, in exactly these states. Now, I leave out Delhi because there was an alliance. In the subsequent state elections, roughly about 2 crore people continued to vote for the Congress party in these states. I can go in Maharashtra alone. There are nearly 50 seats where that the Mahavikas Aghadi won in the Lok Sabha, retained exactly the same number of votes in the Vidhan Sabha, but lost. So when you say people's choices are same. These are the number of people that vote. So the number of people that voted for the Mahavikas Aghadi in 50 seats, nearly 50 seats, were exactly the same in
But the
Vidhan Sabha.
BJP vote has grown. Your vote has remained static, the BJP vote has grown.
That is the point. How is it? So first of all, then we admit that there is no big shift, no big internal rivalry, no big or leaders being cut to size, all of these things, right? Exactly the same number of people voted. That's number one. Number two, when they've grown, how has it grown? Why is it that we find suddenly in these 50 seats, on average, 20,000 more votes go to the BJP alliance, Mahayuti alliance, and there are 20,000 extra votes polled? How is there such a tight correlation between the two? So I think we have, that's why I keep saying, let us not come up with some grand proclamation.
Okay.
When we look at people's choices reflected as a vote, the number of votes, 2 crore in these states during the Lok Sabha, 2 crore in the state elections after the Lok Sabha.
We will wait and see how that plays.
And you still deny the election. And you still deny the outcome of the election. After tom-tomming for the past 2 minutes on the number of voters that have gone up or down, I don't care, but you still deny it.
They claim that's another debate which we will have. They claim that there are question marks over these voter rolls. Let's leave it there. We have made a commitment to our viewers. We don't want crosstalk. We will try and ensure that every panelist gets equal time. That's going to be our aim, and we want to get intelligent panelists who speak with data, with facts on their fingertips, and give the viewers more knowledge than noise. I appreciate my guests joining us on our talking point tonight.